Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I think this is my third year as a senior lecturer. So I've used SPeCTRUM before, but then it's just learning through experience and also from help with other senior lecturers, senior colleagues. So I haven't gone through a proper I think I did, but then I'm not really familiar with the rest of the functions, the activities and stuff, and yeah. So I would like to learn on that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Which faculty are you from?
Oh, so I'm from Sabah,
Siva.
under PNI, under
Okay.
this high COE. Yes.
Okay, I go. Okay. The next one would be Dr. Izian.
Hi, hello, Assalamualaikum. Very good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, my name is Izian. I'm from Faculty of Pharmacy. I'm a pharmacy lecturer.
Okay, thank you. How long have you been in UM?
I think about 3 years. Previously, I used Moodle at different university. So the functions is about the same, but I would like to learn more on the advanced technique.
All right, thank you. Dr. Muhammad Shazril.
Yes, Assalamualaikum, very good morning, everyone. So I'm Dr. Shazril from engineering. So I just joined UM last year.
Okay, all right. The next one, Dr. Safia.
Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. I'm Safia from Arts Geography Department, Arts and Social Science Faculty. I think I participate in the basic spectrum before, but I haven't participated in the intermediate session. So just like to explore more. Thank you.
The next one, Dr. Shafiqah. It's ADeC Shafiqah, sorry. Dr. Siti Noshina. Assalamualaikum, good morning. Dr. Siti. Maybe she went off. Dr. Vino.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Zahir.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Vino from Faculty of Medicine e-learning unit. So I basically train some of the lecturers in FOM to use SPeCTRUM as well. So I'm just here to observe, to get to know is there any part of the SPeCTRUM functions I miss out, so that I can enhance more my skill. Yeah, that's why I'm here today.
Alright, so I've actually known Vino for quite a while, since she was a PhD student. So she interviewed the team at ADeC for PhD. And the next one, thank you, Vino. Dr. Wan Sharina.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Zahir. Good morning all. I'm from Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, Department of International Strategic Studies. I've been using SPeCTRUM for the last 4-5 years, I think. But I think I've been enhancing my knowledge in the past year due to the MCO, due to the pandemic. I'm beginning to enjoy using SPeCTRUM more and interact with students, but I want to do more with SPeCTRUM with my students.
Okay, thank you. So I think we can let the rest of the participants come in one by one. In the meantime, we're going to actually start the session. So this workshop Spectrum Intermediate is actually a workshop for those who have already learned the basics of operating our LMS, which is Spectrum. So I can see from the sharing just now, the average participants have been with the UMs about 3 to 4 years. So I'm assuming that you have been using Spectrum and Teams for teaching and learning during our MCO period. And the reason why you're here is you want to explore a little bit more on the ability and the capability of Spectrum. I always when people ask me about Spectrum, I always tell them something like this: Spectrum is a space shuttle, so you've got all the fancy buttons that you can do a lot of things, but then you can still use it as a bicycle. So just go on it and just ride it slowly. And of course, once you, because you know that it's actually, this is a space shuttle, I would expect people would want to actually upgrade their skills so that then one day they can drive. Or what do you do with a space shuttle? You can pilot a space shuttle well, instead of just riding, using it as a bicycle. And I'm assuming that's why you all are here with me today. Maybe some of you have known or seen a few settings that you would like to know more about. Things like how to do quizzes and how to explore the different functions in the quizzes. And what we wanted to do today is actually to explore Web 2.0 tools. I will probably spend a little bit time talking about and showing you about the different functions that we can have in Spectrum. The way that I normally run my sessions is actually hands-on. So when I do face-to-face sessions, I'll be actually expecting people to do the settings themselves. So that means, for example, when I'm opening up certain applications, so everybody should be actually opening up the same application. And the reason why that is quite, I think, important is because then it will enable you to remember those settings better. So I would suggest that you also do something similar. So that means when I'm showing you the tools, things like Blendspace or YouTube or Socrative, then you should actually be able to also do it on your own Spectrum, so that then you'll be able to actually enhance the memory, the working memory in terms of what buttons to push and things like that. So let's go into more details with the Web 2.0 tools. So the Web 2.0 tools are actually tools that's available for teaching and learning. Normally, it would come with an education license or the education account that's actually free when you are registered as an educator. So that means when you register through these platforms using your university account. So like us, it's going to be um.edu.my, and that educator account actually sometimes enhance the account or the ability that you get, the ability of the platform a little bit more than the normal user who registered with normal Gmail or whatever. So I would suggest that the accounts that I'm going to show you, the platforms that I'm going to show you a little bit later, if you could try and register through your UM mail, so that then you get actually just a little bit extra. So normally these accounts are actually a premium account. So that means it's a free with some certain a certain level of premium features, but it's actually still limited. If you want to go for premium, then you need to actually pay. So, but for my teaching, I only use those premium accounts, and it's actually fits and works for me quite well. So you don't have to actually spend money for all those Web 2.0 subscriptions, but you just use the free versions, and the free versions are actually useful already for you to run your classes. Okay, so today we're going to look at several Web 2.0 tools that you can actually embed in SPeCTRUM. So that means it will appear in the SPeCTRUM as SPeCTRUM, something that you engage with inside SPeCTRUM. But I'm going to also show you useful tools that is not integrated with SPeCTRUM, but I like using it with my students because it's actually very, very useful, and it's very engaging for the students. So SPeCTRUM in our situation now becomes more of a indexing page. Apart from a resources page, it also indexes the resources that we take our students outside. So that is something that also useful in terms of teaching remotely when students are actually doing their courses online. And when students are doing their courses online, what we need to think and design about in our SPeCTRUM is actually how to get them engaged with the learning and how we can actually measure those engagement. How do we know that the students are actually reading the resources that we give them? So that is actually something that you need to design for in your course. So it does not mean that when you put things there, automatically the students are going to digest everything. And believe me, they will not be doing that. So unless you put in interactivity within your SPeCTRUM, then there's no guarantee for you to know whether the students are actually engaging with your materials. So remember when we design courses, especially online courses, the learning outcome still is the king. So that means you need to know what are the learning outcomes that you need to do. And then after you've already digested and understood the learning outcome, especially the verbs that's been used, identify, synthesize, understand. So those kinds of work is actually key to the learning outcome that the students need to get. And those verbs actually affects how the assessment is done in the SPeCTRUM. So once you know your learning outcome, then you move to the assessment. How do you design assessment that fits that learning outcome? And then only then after you know what the assessments are, you design the contents for those assessments that you're going to do at the end of the semester or during the course of the semester. So let's start by me sharing my SPeCTRUM page. Okay, so okay, so will you be able to see my page? Can you see my page now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is like the training page that I created within SPeCTRUM. So I've got quite a number of inquiries from lecturers, especially those new lecturers who are teaching courses alongside other lecturers within the same course group. So they're teaching the same course, but they are sharing the course with other lecturers. So how do you separate the resources? Okay, the team teaching. I know there are quite a number of ways you do team teaching. The first one, which is the more straightforward one, is actually you team teach different topics altogether, and it's separated between the middle half of the semester. So that means 7 weeks, one lecturer goes in and teach, and then the next 7 weeks, another lecturer goes in and teach. And then there are situations where you take turns teaching. So that means this first week, for example, lecturer A is teaching, and then the second week, lecturer B is teaching, and then lecturer C takes over, and then it's go back to lecturer A. So those are the main ways that you share your courses, your course in SPeCTRUM. And the way that I would suggest that you do that, you can actually do it the conventional way. So everything is in the classes in the main page of SPeCTRUM. But I would suggest you consider one thing, which is to use a different course format that would actually suit those kind of that kind of teaching interaction. So again, when we go into SPeCTRUM, the most important thing is the gear button here. So this is the gear button, which we use to control quite a number of things. So we go to edit settings, and you can see here my course format. So right now it's actually flexible sections. So what flexible sections does is actually it allows you to nest section within a section, which you can't have in the normal topics format or the weekly format. So if you see here, the front page of the sections, the front page of the SPeCTRUM is actually quite basic. It's just the main section, and then you have different sections here. So I'm just playing around with the names here. So of course we don't have a Fakulti Pertanian in UM, but the idea is that you can actually differentiate between students in a different faculty or a different department, for example, learning in the same course by having a separate section for them. So when I click here in Fakulti Pertanian, for example, so these are actually pages for the faculty of Fakulti Pertanian. So they do all their learnings there, and they don't have to bother about students from by Dr. Irene, for example, who's teaching Citra, or Dr. Zahir from Malam Bina. So you don't have to, the clutter is actually very severely reduced, or effectively very reduced when using the flexible section format. So that is one way of separating the learners, and you can actually set the groups of the students that unless you belong to the faculty or belong to the department or belong to the group that the teacher is or the educator is teaching, then you don't have to bother the students with the resources. So in this case, Dr. Irene's student will only be able to see her course, her resources, because it belongs to her group. So here, not available unless you belong to group C. So students who are from a different group A, will not be able to see the resources in that lecture SPeCTRUM. So this is useful when you have the same course, but you are teaching different department students. So I know some of the courses are doing this within the same faculty. So they have the same common course for everybody in the faculty, but the same course is taught by different people 4 different faculties. So in this case, then instead of the faculty here, it's actually the department. So Department of Geography, for example, and then Department of Environment, and then Department of Soil, for example, or Physics. Okay, so within the same course, which is taught in the same spectrum, you expect same spectrum, then you can actually have 3 different sections for 3 different teachers or educators teaching in the faculty or between departments. So that is how you can actually use this setting to control the access for the students. So how do we do this? It's actually by grouping. Okay, so if you go into turn everything on first, okay, you can actually set who will be able to access this faculty, for example. So to do this within the flexible sections format, you can actually go into the settings. Okay. So wait for it to load. If you have any questions, feel free to stop me and ask. I will stop and entertain you, because then it will actually benefit the rest of the group today. Okay, so here in the names of or this section, this subsection, you can actually click on this extra setting, which is restrict access. And restrict access will put an access restriction for those people. Okay, so let's say I'm going to restrict the access by group. Okay, so students must match. Okay, so we have 4 groups here, but I'm going to allow only A and group B to access this part. So let's say, for example, only group A and group B are students from Fakulti Pertanian. The other 2 remaining groups will be from a different faculty, for example, but they are still learning the same course. Okay, so group A and group B only. So when I click on Save Changes, oops, sorry, what happened? Okay, so here when I save changes just now, it actually should have actually taken me back directly here, but next technology for you, sometimes they act up. But here you notice that it is actually being restricted to only group A and group B students only. Okay, so group C will not be able to see this section. Okay, so that is how you actually differentiate those sections. And to do or to use flexible sections format, what you do is, if you see here the triangle here, so that is actually means that this section is actually collapsed. That means everything is shown, and people can actually go in and click on the resources here right away. But if you click this again, it will become similar to the ones at the bottom here. So that means it's going to be hidden, and you need to click on the title before you can actually go into the resources. But I designed this demo page so that anything that's on the faculty level, so that means everybody should be able to see it. So, and this is the course pro forma, and so the SLT, for example, it has to be the same and consistent throughout the cohort, even though they are from different faculties. So that's why I make it available for everybody. Okay, so that is how you actually differentiate different sections, for example, and you actually put in those groups into the section. So another prerequisite or requirement to use this is actually for you to have a group, okay, and for you to create groups and also groupings. Okay, so what are groups and what are groupings? So the best way to describe this grouping is actually collections of several small groups. Okay, so for example, you have, let me go into the grouping so that then you'll be able to see what I'm talking about here. So to go into the grouping, you actually go to more. After you click on the gear icon here, click on more, and then it will show me this course administration page, and I click to users. So here is groups. So here I have 4 groups already created in the course, and also I have this grouping. Okay, so grouping is where you create a group. Okay, so and for example here for assignment 1, I have grouping A, B, C, and D in that same grouping. So when I click on the overview, so this will be those members of the grouping. Of course, these are members of ADeC actually, because this is just a demo course. But I can show you a grouping that I do for my own course. Okay, so that then you'll be able to see what kind of groupings that we have. So let's see. Okay, so here I have several groupings. Okay, so this one is actually groupings for the measurement work. So there are measurement group 1 and 2, and then
Because
when I
we can't see your screen.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Let me share that again. Can you see it now?
Yes. So this is your own course.
Yes, this is my own course, BIB 2001. Okay. So here I have groups which have 2 subgroups. Okay, so the grouping is actually a house for different subgroups. So for example, for this table group, I actually can create a different group of students with different compositions. So for example, I'm going to create one quickly here. So I'll just use the auto create groups. I actually have 38 students in my class here. So this is the group that is actually registered in Maya. Okay, so the group registered in Maya will actually appear automatically in your SPeCTRUM. The other groups will need to actually be created a little bit late, by yourself when you need to create groups. So I'm going to auto create one group. Okay, so just now is group. So okay, group A, and then this is for a different work, for example. So table. Okay, so I'm going with a number of group, and I'm going to have let's say 8 groups. Okay, and then I'm going to select members with row student. Okay, I'm going to allocate my members randomly. Okay, and I'm going to use the grouping that's already there. So I'm going to go with the table group. Okay, so you can actually create groupings yourself, but either you do new grouping and then you give it a name, okay, or you just select whatever group that's available already. So I'm going to preview this, and the system will actually automatically randomize the group members into my automatically created group. Okay, so for it to load, so I think SPeCTRUM is a bit slow today. Yes.
Zahid, I think tadi you click on 8 groups, actually 8 per group, but you did not actually put number of groups today.
This one is the number of groups.
Yeah, but you put there yang 8 tu group member count. Tapi I'm not sure. Do you have to put like 2 groups or 8 groups tu kat situ ataupun group of member count tu?
You can actually change this, either members per group or number of groups. What it does is it will automatically allocate the group members into that. So because I wanted 8 groups in my my groups, then 8 groups. I wanted to create 8 groups. Then I put in number of groups 8. If I want to specify a number of students in the group, so for example, I want 7 students in a group, then I would actually change that to members per group.
Members. Alright. Okay.
So that is how you can the two ways that you can actually auto create groups.
Alright.
Okay. So now the system I already created the groups for me. So automatically now it actually arranges the groups. Yeah. So I have group A table. So I missed just now. If you use the at sign, the alias sign, it will give you A, B, C, D, the groups. If you use the hashtag sign, it will give you 1, 2, 3, 4 automatically arranged for you. So since I use the, I just leave it with the at signs now. It gives me A, B, C up to H, and the system automatically assigns 5 students per group, so that then the number of groups is distributed equally among the student members. And we have 2 groups of 4 because I don't have exactly 40 students in my class here. So that is how you actually create that group. And then once you are done, so once you're happy, you just click on submit. So I'm going to show you what happens in the groupings now. So automatically you have a grouping of you have 2 groupings. One is for the measurement coursework, which is a large coursework, and I just need 2 groups, and all the members of the group will need to work with each other. But I also have a separate group for a smaller assignment, for example, that have smaller members in that group. So that is how you can actually utilize the groups and groupings in this course to actually control who gets access to those resources in SPeCTRUM. So let's go back to the same page that we were just now. Let me reshare my content, so then you are seeing the right one. Okay, can you see it? Okay, so this is the training group just now. So I can actually select the groups. Okay, just now the groups for group A, group C, those are people who are in the different faculties, for example. Okay, so that's how you can actually change the composition of the groups and faculties, and then you apply the decision so that you control who gets to get into the course, so get into the resources that you've created, especially for them. A bit of a note, although you can actually assign the groups and restrict access to the students, you cannot do the same with the lecturers. So that means the teaching team must be careful not to sort of accidentally go into your friend's course and then delete their resources, because then you don't want to have that conversation later in the faculty office. Why do you delete my stuff? Okay, so be careful, just be careful about that. All right, so that is groups and grouping. I get this question a lot, so I think it's a good idea for me to actually share it with you, so that then you know how it's done and how you can use it to actually conduct your teaching. Okay, so let's go back to our course. So let's look at Web 2.0 tools. Okay, so what are Web 2.0 tools? Actually, if you Google Web 2.0 tools, you will see quite a number of interesting tools every day coming up for education. You can even Google this and you'll find so interesting ones. And I would bet that it is actually updated every day. Okay? So just type in Google Web 2.0 tools for education, and you will find there will be quite a number of tools that you can actually go to. So let's look at. So this one is a list. Okay, so there are different categories. So these are aggregators, bookmark managers, classroom tools, okay, collaboration, course management. There's quite a number of Web 2.0 tools, gamification, e-learning, okay, and all these are actually available for you to register for, and then try and figure out what's useful for your class. Remember, when you are putting use of all these tools, you need to actually think about the pedagogy first. Okay, the tools are actually the means for you to reach that pedagogy. So always think about what would be useful for the students before you even think about using tools. Okay, so because although you get excited, you might get excited on certain tools, for example. Unless you can match it with what the students need, then it will not be useful for you as lecturer, educator, and for the students as the ones who are going to actually experience the learning using that tool. So remember that you need to think about the pedagogy first before you go in and then introduce these kinds of tools to them. But at the same time, whatever pedagogy that you want, I can tell you that there will be a suitable tool to do this. Okay, and this is what we are here for today. So I'm going to show you the most I would say the most easiest tool that you can actually use for this, and you can actually have it embedded in your SPeCTRUM. Okay, so I'm going to go into my course so that I'm not going to disturb anybody else's. So although everything is actually done by me there. So let's look at okay. So let's look at putting in YouTube first. Okay, because YouTube is actually a great teaching resources that you can have with your students. Okay, so with Web 2.0 tools, I would suggest that you actually curate those Web 2.0 tools using the page in your SPeCTRUM. Okay, so if you actually scroll down, you click you click add activity or resource. Let me share. I change the sharing because if I'm doing this using the other one, it will not actually, you will not be able to actually see the pop-up windows. Okay, so hopefully this one, please tell me that you can see the pop-up window when I click on add activity. Can you see? Can anybody feedback?
Yep.
Okay, all right, very good. Just now when I click on the button, you will not be able to see anything that's pop up, isn't it? Okay, so
actually we can see the first time the add-on activity pop-up was there.
oh, you can still see it because
so
before this, it actually didn't work. So I had to change that. So that's why I sort of remembered and tried to change it again. But it's okay. So but now you can still see it, isn't it? Okay.
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you. All right, so go to page. Okay, so the page actually enables me to actually create the web resources. So the description here is on the side. Once you click on anything, you can actually, the description actually changes. So I'm going to go with page. Okay, click on add. Okay, so of course this page will need to have a name. So let's put in as resource. And I'm going to put in the YouTube page here. So this is where you actually put in the video link. So insert media, go to video, and then you can actually click on but you need to have your YouTube link first. Okay, so because then you will be able to then put it here. So with YouTube, what you do is you just actually on YouTube. Okay. Let's take this uh, okay, let's take this one. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so let's say you want to teach optics, for example, gravitational illusions. So what you do is you can click on the share button here. Okay, and you will be able to see this share button, and you can actually have either embed, okay, like this. It will embed, but you don't actually need to use this one, because what you need to do is oops, what you need to do is actually for media or YouTube or Vimeo or any video resources, you can actually click on the link, and then Moodle will actually automatically create the file in your page for you. So go back to, so you click on copy just now, you go back to your page, and then you just Control V. So this is the resources that you have already created. You have already copied from YouTube, and then you just click on insert media. So automatically this will come up, and then when you save and display, what will happen is actually it will come up as this one. So when the students play the video from YouTube, okay, so then automatically they will be able to view. Okay, you can actually also because this actually video is quite small, isn't it? So you want the video to be bigger, for example, you can actually paste the link in a different way and use a different method to do that. And this would be actually true for quite a number of resources I'm going to share a little bit later. So I'm going to go back into edit settings. So I'll just leave this here. So this is need to say this is the window. Let's so here I'm going to go back to YouTube, but I'm going to, instead of using the copy link, I'm going to click on the embed button. Okay, so the embed button now it comes with this iframe thing. So, and what is important, okay, is for you to actually you here you can actually change this setting 560, which is the width, and then 3.315, which is the height. You don't have to do that, but let's copy this code. I'm not going to change anything, I'm just going to copy it only, and then I'm going to paste this link, but I'm not going to paste it out right away. for that, you need to actually go into the HTML setting, which is you click on the toggle button here, and it will give you an extra layer of buttons for you to click. So you go into this HTML, okay, and what you do, you just paste the link that you had just now. So let's see what this does. When you click Save and Display, okay, so now you have a bigger window that pops up for this video. So that is how it's different when you link and when you embed the HTML file, and then and here you embed the YouTube link itself. Okay, so that is one way for you to actually create the resources for you. One, using the video link that you paste into the resources using this media icon. You can also put in pictures or image using this image icon. Same thing, you can use the image URL for you to actually put the image. Okay, and the good thing about this new image button is actually you can auto size. So that means once you have the URL image, and then the students, if they are watching it, watching the video or the image, sorry, in their phones, then it will automatically resize the image to their phone size. And then if they are watching it on their tablet, for example, or watching it in their PCs, then it will present a bigger image for the students. So that is image. Any questions so far?
Well, Dr. Zahir, where did you, which button did you click on to set the auto size thing?
Okay, the auto size.
Okay, the picture
this
button or image.
Okay, so let's.
So you don't have to actually change the numbers on the embed.
You don't have
just
to.
now.
Yeah, I don't have to. You can if you want to, and you
okay.
know how to, but you don't really have to. Okay. For the image, so let's just put in an image just now. So optical illusion, isn't it? So let's just search for optical illusion. Okay, image. And remember.
So Dr. Zahid, so this is for image, but just so it's also applicable for the size of the window for the YouTube video as well. Okay.
You can actually change that as well.
All right. Same settings as same width,
Yes.
same settings as now. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So let's find an image which is actually free of copyright. So remember, when you are creating resources for students, try to find the things like image, videos, and other resources. Try to find the ones that are free to modify, share, and use. You can actually use any of this, but for copyright protection, please to make sure that find the image which is actually that allows you to actually use it, because otherwise then you are infringing on others' copyright. Okay, so let's take this image for example. So I'm going to click on view image. So this is actually copyright free image, and so this is the link to the image just now. So you know that this is the right link to an image because at the end here is a JPEG format. Okay, other formats, for example, GIF or TIFF, are also available. So this is JPEG formats. So I'm going to copy this, Control C, copy this image URL, go into my SPeCTRUM, and then just paste that. Okay, and then I'm going to click auto size. So automatically it will actually size it for students are using phone, for example, or students are using tablet. Okay. Okay, so image must have a description. Okay, so this is another thing that I want you to actually consider. When you are pasting image, make sure that those images is actually described. Okay, and this is actually part of a universal design. That means you design for different abilities. For example, if you have a disabled person in your class who's actually using a screen reader because they can't see much, or they are disabled, blind, for example, then the screen reader will actually describe the image for the learners. So this is based on the universal concept of universal design. You actually need to think about people with different abilities or people with different disabilities, that who's going to access your course. So if you know, for example, that you have somebody who's blind in the course, then you need to make sure that I need to actually put in the description, because that it will help them to understand what you are talking about, because they would have to rely on the screen reader for them to be able to actually follow the lesson. So I'm going to put in here is optical illusion. Okay. So on save image. So if you don't have any disabled students, you just click on description, not necessary. Okay, so now I have this optical illusion picture that will automatically come up, and how will be automatically sized for them on different devices. Okay, so so now the page have this another resource that's available for them. So let me share with you a page that I created for students on this course. Okay. So this is how I use page to help the students to understand the course that I'm teaching. Okay, I got to delete this. This is me testing just now. Okay. Okay, so this is actually a course that I co-teach with other lecturers. My part is actually here. So this is what I wanted to share with you. So this is actually the page that I've created for the students. Here is also all text. Okay, but the way that I designed this topic for them is actually I wanted to get them to do self-study for this topic, so they don't have to have a contact session with me. That means it will sort of alleviate the need for them to actually sit in front of the computer for 3 hours, listen to me talking. So they will just actually have to go in and read the resources, and then they can actually click on the presentation that will take them outside. Okay, outside of the course. So this is a Prezi that I've created for this. I can actually change this by let me see, is this Prezi still working? Okay, it's still working. So I can actually change this so that the Prezi, instead of it shows up as a link, let's change this. So edit settings. I'm going to embed this Prezi into the page here. Okay, so let me go back to that link just now. just so my projects. So these are my student submission. I'm going to share this. Where is it? Here. Okay. So I'm going to actually share this. So where is the okay, sorry. Prezi does not have an embed feature. Yeah, okay. So that's why probably I just put it as this link. Used there Prezi used to be able to embed the link into the into SPeCTRUM. So with the new Prezi, you need to actually pay to be able to do that. So yeah, never mind. So I don't want to pay, and so that's why I just give them the link. Okay, so that is one of the pages that I have with my students. So let me show you another page. The one with pictures and videos. Let me see. Okay, yeah, this one. Okay, and okay, this. Yeah, okay. So this one. So this one, this is a page that I've created. So we have this video. We also have a picture here, and we also have a presentation. So these are all embedded inside my page. So that is, but this one is a Prezi link. All right, so it works that way. Okay, okay. So but so you get the idea, isn't it? So you can actually put pages, but it would not be just videos or images. It actually have write-ups, for example, to introduce the items, and also to clarify certain things or make explicit things that they need to know about. Okay, so that is how you use page to actually embed things into your SPeCTRUM. And you can actually use this embed with a lot of Web 2.0 tools that you can actually find and use with your students. I actually find this image quite disturbing. I'm going to delete this. So what you do is, with the image, just click on your icon there and just okay. Save. Okay, so that get rid of that quite disturbing icon picture. Sorry. Okay, so let's look at the different Web 2.0 tools that you can actually embed in your teaching, and I'm going to go with one quite very popular one that you might have or you might have heard before, which is Padlet. So I think everybody have heard of Padlet before. And Padlet is a place where you can actually do collaboration with the students. So I have my own Padlet account, and since I have this Padlet account, when they first started with the Padlet, so not really first started, but a long time ago, I have more than 3 Padlets available. Okay, for the new account holders, you only actually get 3 free ones before you need to actually start paying. But since I'm sort of an existing user, I get quite a number of more Padlet than the normal accounts. Okay, so with Padlets, for example, so I'm going to share this easy e-learning tool. Okay, and for the Web 2.0 tools, normally you will see this share button, isn't it? It's the same as YouTube just now. You have that share button. Okay, share button, and it looks quite similar because this is part of that universal design principle just now. So people get together and say, okay, this is going to be the share button, so the arrow pointing up. So, and it's actually the same here with Padlet. Where was it? Okay, here. It's the same, isn't it? It's almost similar. So share, and then here you get this embed. Okay, so what you do is click on this embed, and it will give you this big HTML code that you can actually copy. Okay, so it's copied to your clipboard, and then when I go to my page here, I can actually paste it. So go to edit settings. Okay, again. So remember to click on this this toolbar and then click on the HTML. So what I want to do is I want to first introduce the Padlet first to the learners. So this compilation that will then I'm going to paste that link. Okay, so automatically it will just paste that link into that page content, and when I click on save and display, so now we will run, and while we are waiting, okay, so you have that pattern already there. Okay, I'm actually going to share with you the link to this. So I'm going to go to my Padlet, start embedding. I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to share in the chat. You all have access to this that you can actually use. So, and I'm going to share the resources here, and okay, so you can actually use this as part of the teaching, and you can see that I've already grouped this into different things: video montage, for example, Lumenfire, Bitable, student collaboration, Dropbox paper, Padlet, WebJets, Miro. Okay, I'm going to go through this today with you, the best ones, so that then you can actually exploit yourself, and then if any of these have an embed button, then you can embed it into your Spectrum. Okay, so WebJets. Okay, so WebJets is actually sort of a replacement for Padlet. But just now, as I said before, even if you are registering with Padlet as an educator, you only get like 3 Padlets because of your new. So somebody showed me this WebJet, which is a replacement for Padlet. So you can actually, let me just close some of this first. Okay, so WebJet is similar in terms of it allows you to actually collect contents from the web and then group it. Okay, similar to what you see in Padlet, isn't it? So in Padlet here, you can group it this way. You can actually change the layout of this Padlet, or what would be easy is for me to show you different layouts. Okay, so this is a different layout which actually everybody puts in, and then it will auto arrange. And then you also have layout like this one. This one is actually a column where you have this going from top to bottom. Okay, so you can play around with the layout as you like. So WebJets, I also have a login, so I just click on login, and quite a number of resources like this is actually quite intuitive. So you don't really have to be sort of trained to use it. You can figure it out yourself. Okay, so WebJets. Remember just now, just log in with your UM mail. You get that free educator account. So here, since I've already have an account, just sign in with Google. Even if you don't have an account, you can actually just sign in with Google, and then automatically it will ask me to choose which Google account that I have. Okay. All right. So this is my WebJets link, or my WebJets account. So here I can actually share this with my students. So again, so this is one of the lectures that I have. So new things learned online. So let's just click on that one. So this is just like this. So this is one of my resources. Okay, it's actually the same thing, yes, as Padlet just now, isn't it? You have the so I have the column, and then so this one I elaborated it a little bit more, but again you have this same thing: Padlet, WebJet, Socrative, Loom, Mentimeter, and other stuff. Okay. So you can actually share this on the web, but you cannot embed this. So that is one of the disadvantage of WebJets. But still, this is quite useful, and you can actually work on this collaboratively online as well. Okay, so that's WebJet, and Miro is actually a good brainstorming platform. In that, it is actually remember sticky notes. When you normally when we do workshops, you have all those sticky notes. So Miro actually simulates that experience by allowing us to have this sticky note type material, and actually have online engagement collaboratively in real time with Miro. So that is what you can use. So let's see whether we have this embeddable or not. Okay. So again, so just board. So this is what I have. Okay. So what I can do here. So let's share this. Okay. So here it is a copy link. So it's a link access. So remember just now when we have Web 2.0 tools, there are two ways whether you can share it using the embed code, or if it's not an embed code, that if it's not an available embed code, what you can do is actually you share the link. Okay, and that is where you use your SPeCTRUM. So in this case, what you do is you go into your class just now, like this one. Okay, so let me just go back here. Okay, so you can actually use the label icon, okay, to share that link with your learners, or better yet, you use the URL icon, okay, because you get the link just now, isn't it? So you go to URL, okay, and you have the, so the name would be this one is a Miro on, okay, you paste the link that they give, okay, and then you have a description here. So the description would read something like let's collaborate on this resource on, you know, and when you click display description on course page, what it does is actually it's going to show that that link. Okay. So where was I just now? Here. Okay. So Miro board, let's collaborate on the resource on the Miro app. So what you do is, then the students, what they need to do is they need to click, and it will take them automatically to Miro, and then they can start working at the sticky note and start writing on the sticky note. So you get my idea. Okay, I'm going to share with you the link to this. 17 members. Okay, so copy invite link. Okay, I'm going to share this link with you. Okay, so why don't everybody just click on this link that I give on the chat and see what you can do in there.
Need to sign in first.
Yes. So as I said just now, sign in using your UM mail, then you will be able
okay.
to,
Got it.
so now I can see Dr. Vino already in the page here. Can you see that? Can you see? So that's her name. She's already running around in that, creating a sticky note and saying hello everyone. Have you been into this this Miro before, Vino?
Yeah, Dr. Zahir, I use for training.
Okay.
Interactive whiteboard, yeah.
All right. So let's see more people in the Miro app. If you need to register, just register. Okay, so I can see.
Sorry to Zahir.
Yes.
I just want to ask, do we have the same feature for, let's say, Google or Microsoft MS Teams based with the same feature as Miro or Padlet or WebJet?
It's actually quite limited on that front. So that's why when you are using Teams and also Google Meet for classes, you don't really get that this kind of functionality, which you can actually have that because Teams uses a different way of arranging the classes, and it's actually more basic. So it's not really something that's similar to SPeCTRUM, where you can actually do quite a lot of things. But even here, you can actually have because I've seen in Teams that you can actually add certain apps that's sometimes have the Web 2.0 capability. It's not really going to be that extensive. So I can see quite a number of people here already. So Shalini is here, Fitri is here, Wahid is here, Moisuddin is here. So while you are playing around with this, I just wanted to hear from you guys. I've been talking for quite a while now, puasa kan? So let me hear from Dr. Wan Sharina. So what would you use Miro for with your students? Any ideas?
I suppose when I want them to have a group discussion, brainstorming on, say, a project, like for jaringan masyarakat, for example, yeah, and if they want to propose some institution, organization which they want to work with, so they can actually throw out their ideas in here.
Okay, very good. Let's hear from Dr. Ngoi Su Tin. Hello, good morning.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, a bit soft, but I can still hear you.
Okay. Now, I was thinking of using this, like the previous doctor said, for group discussion and probably for presentation of the students, because we have group presentations as one of their assignments, like for every semester. So I think this will be a very good platform for them.
Okay, yes, excellent. And so, what else we can do here? So apart from the sticky note, you can actually have create one mind map as well, and Kanban. So Kanban is actually a way to organize resources and projects. This is a topic by itself. I'm also not really like skilled in using it. Okay, so where was I just now? Okay, so when we do the activities with the students, you need to actually design it first, isn't it? Before then you can actually say, okay, so this is useful for this, this is useful for this. But it actually helps if you started to explore it and find out what actually works and how would it be useful for your students. Another strategy of using all these Web 2.0 tools is actually to use it or to get the students to explore it first, and then to suggest to you what would it be useful for. I think that is also a good strategy because it will help them to be independent in actually figuring out what you can use with technology, because when they graduate, they will need to actually use all these skills when they go to work. Okay, so let me go back to SPeCTRUM. Okay, you will find that you still have access to that mirror board, isn't it? Okay, so where was I? Okay, so we can actually embed Web 2.0 tools in our SPeCTRUM, and we can also give the link to the students to actually go into resources. A good way for you to use the resources within SPeCTRUM and also to index things within SPeCTRUM is actually to have the activities as assessment. Okay, so remember when we design for the LO, and then we design the assessment, isn't it? So assessment using SPeCTRUM, you can either use the assignment or the quiz, okay, or the workshop. So workshop is actually a peer marking assignment, which is actually quite nice, but it actually takes quite an effort to actually learn it properly. So those are the three main ones for use in assessment. But what I like to share with you with regards to assessment is actually an audience response tool. Okay, so an audience response tool is actually for them to for the students to actually respond to your questions while you are teaching. So for example, imagine it like this. So when you are doing your face-to-face session online using Teams, for example, you want the students to engage with the learning materials that you have. So you can actually use things like Kahoot. Everybody knows Kahoot, isn't it? And you can also use Socrative and Edpuzzle. So Edpuzzle is slightly different, but I like to show Mentimeter. Okay, so Mentimeter is another um, audience response tool that will help you engage your students a little bit more. So let's see what Mentimeter is. Of course, I always have an account already, so I just log in. For you, you need to sign up. Okay, so this is my Mentimeter app, and what I'm going to do now, since I already have this Mentimeter with you, okay, so I'm going to play this one with you. Okay, so what I want you to do now, since you are in front of your computer, so let me just reset this first. Reset that. Okay, so okay, I'm going to open voting. Okay, so why don't you go to menti.com? So everybody stop playing on the Miro board, please. Go to menti.com and then input this code. And then start voting on the kitten. So to use this, because you are a participant, you don't have to log in and register. So it's a quick response platform. So I can see one person already voted. So we have how many people here? We have 24. Okay, so let's have 24 votes for the kittens. So we are 6 right now. Okay, so we are 12. Very good. So again, I'm going to ask uh, my colleagues in here. Who else? I have not called their name yet. Dr. Noh Hidayah. Are you there, Dr. Noh Hidayah? So how would you use this in your classroom settings? Dr. Noh Hidayah, are you there?
Sorry, Dr. Zahiruddin. I'm listening to your webinar while doing patient. So
Oh, okay.
basically, I'm lost.
Okay, all right.
I apologize.
So are you with the Faculty of Medicine?
Faculty of Dentistry.
Dentistry. Okay, so
Yeah.
you having patients right now?
I just finished my patient and suddenly
Oh.
I hear my name was called.
Okay.
All right, sorry.
Okay, no problems. So Dr. Saiful Azwar.
Yeah, Dr. Zahir,
Yes.
can you repeat the question? Sorry, I missed the question.
The question is, how would you use an audience response system like this with your class?
In my class, of course, I will use this one to give quiz to my student and let they vote which one is the correct answer.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, so you can actually change quite a number of settings here. You can actually have a countdown. So like this one. Okay, so now
Okay.
10 seconds. So it gives a sense of urgency, isn't it, for the students? And I like to use countdown timers in my class, so that then they would be able to um, hurry up with whatever activities that I give them, whether it's online or face to face. Countdown timers is actually quite good. Yeah, everybody should try countdown timers in their class. We actually have a fire alarm coming on right now in my office. Let me ask what happened. Okay, so we'll have a 10-minute break, and we'll come back in 40 past 10. Is that okay?
All right. I hope I got sorted quickly.
Respond to the fire alarm. All right, everybody, I'm back. So it was actually a false alarm. The building, part of the building is actually being sanitized, and they were using smoke, so that triggered the alarm just now. Okay, so let's continue with our session. So I hope you had a short break just now, so we can rest. So let's look at other Web 2.0 tools that we can actually use in the classroom. Of course, you need to actually think about what is the useful part of this the classroom applications. in the context of what your learners would need. Okay, so let me show you something that we might want to use. So this is not actually Spectrum, but it's actually quite useful, especially when you want to record a lecture or record a video describing things to your student. And for this, there are several items that you can use. One is Screencastify. Okay, is a video screen recorder, and the next one is actually Loom screen capture, which I use quite often. Okay, so Loom is actually a screen capture application that you embed or you install in your Chrome browser. Okay, so this is my own Loom folder that have quite a number of resources that I've created here. So these are all actually screen recording of things that I did in my class. Okay, guidance that we created. So let's see what can I show here. Okay, so this is a video that I created to help lecturers to create quizzes. So finalizing the rules and saving. Okay, so this one. So if you click on this one, let me check this. Share it again with the sound.
And how the quiz behave when the time expires. We've also set up how many attempts allowed for the quiz or for the exam, and what is the length.
Can you hear the sound of the video?
Yes,
Anyone?
Yes.
Of the quiz, and also the question behavior that randomizes the questions within the quiz, and then the review options for the quiz or the exam, where here we set up that since it's summative.
Okay, so actually doing that is quite simple with the Loom app. So what you do is you install the Loom application on your SPeCTRUM page, and then it will allow you to record a video of that session. So let's go back to this Miro board. I can still see people in here. Okay, so let me record a video now. I'm not sure that it will work while I'm using the camera. Let's try this. So I'm going to go into my Loom for Chrome here. So if you actually go to that website, loom.com, it will ask you to install this. So I'm going to click on this one. Okay, so I'm going to okay, so since I'm using the camera here, I will not be able to use it here. So let me turn off my camera for a while I'm sharing that screen. Okay, so now you can see my picture is at the bottom here, so you can actually see a bigger one, for example, like this one, and this will be the biggest that you can have. But I'm going to go with the smaller one. Okay, and then you can actually change this to either full desktop or current tab. So current tab, let's just go with the current tab. Okay, So just start recording. It will have this countdown timer 3, 2, 1, and I can now start my the video recording. So here is Miro bot. You can actually use this bot to do quite a number of things with your students. I can see Dr. Wahid is still here doing something. Okay, what you can do, for example, you can get them to share ideas in the Miro bot. They can actually put in, for example, comment somewhere here. So and then you can use add to mention. That's interesting. Let's say, for example, and the alarm is on again. Don't worry about it. This video is the false alarm. Okay. So let's see. And then you post, and then of course you can also, for example, select this and type. Okay. So this one is. And after I'm done recording my video, I can actually click on finish recording or click alternate shift F. I'm going to click here. Okay, so the system will actually create this video online for me, so I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to edit it. And then here you can actually change the title. I'm going to delete this one for future collaboration between students. So when I'm done, I can actually play back and you see I can now start my the video recording. So here is Miro. You see now it's working, isn't it? And I can trim the video. So let's say, for example, the end part I want to leave out. So I will just record my video up until this one. I'm going to, sorry, this is removing. So I'm going to remove just the end part. Okay. Click on remove. And then publish changes. Okay. And so I can now start my the video recording. Okay. So here is that. That's that. So what I can do now is I can click on share, and here I can embed. Remember when we do embed in our preview code, so this will be the embed. So I'm going to click on copy code. We go to this resource, and we are going to update this with the new video that we just recorded on Loop. Okay, so let's go further down. Okay, let's embed it here. This is your okay, and I'm going to paste this on the beginning, in the beginning. So again, go to the HTML. Okay, I'm going to put it here. Let's put it here. So remember to paste that. So click on save and display. roll and save. So while it's doing that, let's look at the what are available things that we have here. So here it actually has a view counter. So it will tell you how many people have viewed this video. So far, because it's a new video, then it's just 0. And then you have a call to action, which is a new button. It's actually something that's allows you to actually when they click when they have this when they come to the end of the video, this button will appear, and it will allow them to click and go to somewhere else. For example, we can click and then bring this back to SPeCTRUM, for example. So what you do is, okay, click here to go back to, okay, and then we're going to put in the link. So let's have this link. Okay. And then click on save copies. So here, oh, okay, it comes up right in the beginning. So you can actually click here and it will take the users back to SPeCTRUM, back to this page. So now we can see that this is the video that we just paste embed just now in our SPeCTRUM. So that's the embed code we use. Okay, so another Loom screen capture, another screen capturing site is actually or platform is actually Screencastify. So you can try and use both, see which one would fit your need, because each have slightly different features, I would say. Okay, so for a screen capture platform like this one, how would you use it with as a learning material or as a resource with your students? Let me ask Dr. Nikmatul. Are you there?
I use it to explain assignment to my students so that they can watch it over and over again if they're not clear about the assignment.
Okay, that's very good. Actually, Dr. Nikmatul is my friend in Faculty of the Environment.
Yeah, neighbors. We are neighbors.
Oh yes, yeah, we are neighbors. Yes, 2 doors down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's ask one more person. Let's find Dr. Wahid.
Yes, actually, this will be good for us, especially for the practical session, because most of the practical session have been used now online, and there will be a lot of things to be clarified. I think it's good to use this for more elaboration. Yeah, thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you for that. So you can actually find out or figure out the use of these items or Web 2.0 tools, and you can actually make them beneficial to your students. Okay, so that is a screen capture or video capture application that you can use.
Dr. Zahir, can I ask a question? It's not really about the how to upload it, but I just want to know what kind of software that you use, like you want to edit your YouTube or something like that. Or
okay. So I can actually use the YouTube editing function in actually Edpuzzle. Okay, so Edpuzzle is an application that what it does is actually it makes a YouTube video interactive. Okay, because normally when you have YouTube videos, it's just one way, isn't it? It's one way communication between the YouTube video and to the learners. And the question here is, if you give half an hour YouTube video for your students to watch, how do you know the students are going to watch it? And how do you know the students have watched it? Okay, so the way to do that, the way to make sure that the students engage with the YouTube video that you ask them to watch, actually by using Edpuzzle. Okay, so Edpuzzle is an application that you can also. This one is also something that's useful for schools and districts. Okay, so that means it's for universities as well. And I also use this in my teaching. So I have actually an account, and I'm going to go back as a teacher. Okay, so again, sign in with your Google, your UM Google account. Okay. Okay, and I already have stuff in here. Okay, so these are the ones that I use for class. Okay, let's see what it does. Okay, so this is just 1 minute and 53 seconds. Okay, so once the buildings that I actually have put in a note here. So let's look at one of the issues with regards to building defects that you as a practitioner might encounter in your professional setting. So I can click on continue so that the video starts.
This beachside high-rise was built 7 years ago, but it didn't take long for major problems to appear.
Can you hear the sound?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Basically, apartments flood. There are some key positions in this building that they leak from top to bottom.
After much chasing, the builder made only minor repairs.
If fixed properly, that is not shove silicon in a hole and replace our windows in certain parts of a 20-storey building, it's massive.
The construction company has now gone into administration, lumping the body corporate with a huge bill.
Between 1 and 2 million.
Lawyer Christopher Kerrin says Queensland apartment owners are especially vulnerable.
Okay, here. So it's also it is another note, but you can actually put in assessments as well. So the body corporate, because it's in Australia, so body corporate is actually what in Malaysia we call joint management board in condos and high-rise buildings. So click on continue.
Queensland does not have the statutory warrant.
For the next storm. Emma Pollard, ABC News.
So this one is where I ask questions to the students. So I just choose to ask the question at the end. Okay. So this one is the question is this one. So as a FM practitioner, what is the scope of building? It would specify to the building pathologist that you employ to help with the and the students need to actually answer this question, and they would actually have to actually go through the video, watch the video, understand it before they will be able to actually answer this question. So it gives an interactivity to the video. Okay, number one. And number two, you can actually be sure that the students have watched the video before they answer, because otherwise they will not be able to answer properly, isn't it? And apart from an open-ended question, you can actually ask other types of questions. So let's go with the raw video here. So this one, there's no questions here yet. Okay.
This beachside high-rise was built 7 years ago, but it didn't take long for major problems to appear.
Put in
basically apartments flood.
The question. So what we do is we click on edit. Okay. So now we can actually put in. We can actually trim the video. So that means we make it shorter if we need to, and then we can have a voiceover. So voiceover is useful when you want to narrate the video yourself. So sometimes you find that the descriptions given by the presenter may not be to your liking or does not fit the context, but the resources are still useful. So you can actually do a voiceover of that video. But I'm going to actually put in questions. Okay, so there are three types of things that you can put here. One is multiple choice. This one is open-ended. So open-ended is something that the students will need to type. Multiple choice will be graded automatically. That means you don't have to go into the quiz and then choose whether the students answered correctly or not. So what you do, and then the note is actually something that you write just now in the beginning, or maybe where it's supposed to do, where it's supposed to be. So let's put in a multiple choice question here. Okay, so I'm going to put the
side high-rise was
If fixed properly, that is
I'm
not
going to put the question here, so a little bit in the middle. So too early, then the student will not have actually seen anything, isn't it? So just click on multiple choice question. So you can do a normal multiple choice question. So for example, how is need to be before this need to be. So the right answer would be 5. Okay, so since it's the right answer, so that's that. Then you can actually put in the other options of wrong answers. 7. I'm going to add more. 3 here, and then the ridiculous one, 20. Okay, so the question goes in there. Okay, and then I can click save. Okay. So now I have questions already arranged there. You can actually add more questions if I'm not mistaken. So you can actually add another question. So here I'll add another question. The next question is going to be a true-false question. Okay, so what I'm going to do is and then C and D. And so the right answer, I'm going to put the right answer here. So this one is this one is. So from a multiple choice question, you can actually create a true false question, isn't it? So it's quite easy. So although it says a multiple choice question, but it's actually a true false question. So after you're done, then
shove.
So
Bottom.
Let's let's just have this as the question. You can actually put in more questions.
extra legislative protection for
Somewhere
apartment.
here. So for example, you can have another multiple choice question. For example, here is another question. This okay, and this one is also true. So you potentially actually have 3 types of question from multiple choice questions, isn't it? So one choice correct, more than one choice correct, and then also true false.
Owners.
Okay, so after you're done with the question, so we have 2 questions here. One, we have 2 questions on the beginning, and then we have another question here. So after you're done, you click on finish. Okay, so now this is um, the video with the quiz that you embedded. So what do you do with this? How do you share this with your students? So in here, with Edpuzzle, what you should do is actually you can assign this to a class. Okay, you can actually create a class. So for example, this one is I'm going to create a class, a new class. This one is let's have this class name SPeCTRUM Intermediate. Okay. Description is optional. All these are optional, so you can actually just put in higher education. Okay, so classic is the teacher's favorite. When your students log in or sign up, you get the most analytics. So I always use the classic because I wanted to know how the students are doing. Okay, I'm going to show you how this is done. So don't worry about the other LMS class. So it's only useful for Google Classroom. So again, just now. Okay, I'm going to put this as higher education. So subject is technology. Okay, then I create the class. So the class would be appear here. And what I'm going to do now, I can actually so when it is ticked, so that means it's assigned to this class, SPeCTRUM Intermediate. You can change the date that it starts. Okay, so I'm going to send it a little bit later, for example, but I'm going to change the hour to 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Okay, and then I can actually set a due date for this. So for example, I want this to finish on that day itself. Okay, but I'm going to on that day itself, I'm going to change this to AM. I'm going to give it only up until 2 o'clock. Okay, and so when I save, so this is the settings for this quiz. Okay, so sorry, this resource, it's not a quiz, but it's a YouTube video that you can actually embed questions in it. So it starts today, on this day. Let's start it tomorrow as well. So that starts tomorrow. Okay lah, never mind, just leave it like this. Okay, start today, due date tomorrow at 2, and then you on prevent skipping. So that means the students need to answer those questions before they can move on. So once you assign that to the class, okay, what you are going to get is this. So you click on go live. So that means go live means when we have a classroom full of students. So then actually they will actually go into this, and then they will actually do the assignment in real time. Okay, so don't worry about that. So because we are in a sort of pandemic situation and you want to give the students time to do it themselves, then you don't have to go live. You just have this assignment up, and what you do is you click on share the assignment. Okay, so here you can actually embed the code, isn't it? So remember just now with the embed code, you embed this, you copy the code, you go to the class. Let's create a new activity. So I'm going to call this a new page. Okay, so this page is interactive video. So the decision will be watch and answer all questions. Okay, and this will count as your attendance for today. Okay, so I don't have to take any attendance anymore. because I set the due date that they will need to answer, then that becomes the attendance, isn't it? So again, go to the embed code. Okay, so let's just introduce this first. So this is about so go to that embed code and then just paste it. So now when I click on save and display, so it will give me this. And what you do is, so for the students, once they click, they will need to actually, they will be taken to that page, and then they will need to actually answer those in the add puzzle page. So in the add puzzle, okay, so let's just go. So it's fine. Let's go back. I'm going to show you what it does. Okay, so these are the class that I just deliberately left open. Okay, so you can see here the class is so this was last year. Okay, so I can actually see who have watched. Okay, so if you go live, you can actually see the bar actually starting to move once the students actually watch that, which is really interesting. But since it's already the past, so I can actually see who watched and how much have they watched. Okay, so everybody here watched 100%, but there are these two person who did not watch anything and did not turn in. Okay, so you can also select this and to see who turned in late. So Nadra here actually turned in the work late. Okay, you can also see who last watched this. Okay, so Nadra actually watched this much later than her groupmates. Okay, and then you can actually see what are the grades. So I did not grade this because I don't want this thing to close. And then that's why I have 28 answers to it. But the good thing is then this becomes something that's interactive to the students, isn't it? So you can actually see the questions here. So this one, this is the one that is pending. Okay, but this one is all the auto mark. So you don't have to really do anything. You just have to mark the open-ended question. The multiple choice questions is already being marked by the system. So then it allows you to just now embed the video with the questions in there, and you make sure that the students use it and watch it, and then for you to be able to understand how far along your class, okay, in terms of whether they understood the lessons or not. So that is a good idea for you to use an interactive video. A bit just now about the settings that I put in, isn't it? So if you remember the settings that I put in here, edit settings. So I explicitly say that if they watch and answer all questions, it will count as the attendance rate. And I wanted to say something about attendance. In an online class or an asynchronous class, attendance taking is actually quite easy. But if you want to choose an asynchronous lesson with your students, I mean, asynchronous means it's you let the students do their learning themselves, but you limit it to a certain period so that then you can actually collect them as attendance as well. So you know the students are learning that particular skill or that particular theory, that knowledge, during the time that you ask them to do that, so that then you can move on to the next part and the next part, isn't it? So I always try and find an interactive activity that I can do with the students, and I use that as attendance. If the attendance becomes something meaningful to the students, so that's what I'm trying to say here. Because otherwise, if we take the attendance using normal means, sometimes we use the attendance using SPeCTRUM. You have the QR code attendance thing. And then you also have the attendance in Teams. You can actually download the participants list. That attendance is not really meaningful for the student because they cannot use it to learn. So that's why I like to have an interactive activity to be used in taking attendance, so that then it becomes something that's useful for the students as well. Okay, so that is an interactive video. You can actually have another type of interactive video within SPeCTRUM. I'm going to show you a little bit later. So this is how I normally do Web 2.0 tools in SPeCTRUM. Yes, Dr. Katini.
Sorry, Zahiruddin. This one, I just wanted to ask about the attendance on SPeCTRUM. If it's asynchronous, what's the button to check on the attendance for that? Because I've never actually used it, even though I do asynchronous lectures.
Well, as I said before, I use the activities as attendance, so I don't really use the. I actually never use the SPeCTRUM attendance feature, although it's there. Did that answer your question, Dr. Katini?
Yeah. Right. Thank you.
All right. Somebody raised their hand.
Yes, that's me.
Yes.
I have a question regarding attendance. So you're using interactive content, I should say. I mean, as resource as a attendance record. And how do you? Because we need to fill in the course file at the end of the course, right? So, how do you put those as the attendance record for the course file? Just from your experience.
Because it's something that's available in the system, so I don't really have to print out anything. So what I do is actually like this one. I can actually have a screenshot of this as the attendance, isn't it? So I don't really, because I normally won't actually print anything unless I needed to. So I would have a screenshot of this, and then I just keep it somewhere.
So you would have all this for each lesson. You would have this kind of proof lah, screenshot.
Yes.
So multiple screenshots.
Yeah. So it will be probably sometimes multiple screenshots, but I think it's useful and good enough.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. I have also questions from Dr. Wansharina.
Dr. Zahir, for Teams meeting, can students download the attendance or only hosts can do that?
Okay. I'm going to show you something that I find quite interesting, and I think this is a new update by Teams. Actually, Teams will download automatically the participants of a session when you record the session as a teacher. Okay, so let me open Teams for a while. So this is my class this semester. So let me show you. Okay, this channel. So here, if you can see, for every meeting, this is downloaded right now with it. Can you see this Teams page?
Yes, I think this is new. I think before this just the video tapi tak ada attendance report. I think this is new,
Yeah, this is very new. Quite
Students
recently.
pun is accessible to students juga lah, maknanya they can also download and print out themselves lah.
I'm not sure whether the students will be able to see this, but my view, I can see it.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
So it's something that we don't have to think about, isn't it? It's already there for us. But I think it applies to teams class. So when you create a team, you need to create a team, a class team. So this one, the team type class. So this is what I have. I'm not sure whether it will apply for the other ones as well. But since the one that I'm using is actually a class, it gives me the attendance right away. Okay, the next.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Can I ask about if just now you show that the e-puzzle shows the record of how whether the student has watched the video fully or they just watch it partly. Just now when you scroll down there, it shows some of the students didn't watch it. So
Yes.
so can we see this in the Microsoft Teams or the stream? Because for the recorded video, we upload to the stream and we share the link from Microsoft stream. So can we see this this log in the Microsoft stream?
This one is not available in Microsoft Stream, but I found something that's quite interesting as well in Stream, is that if you go into the videos themselves, okay, so for example, this is the video. So if you go to the stream for this, so go to Microsoft Stream. Okay, are you looking at my stream?
Yes.
Okay. So here you have this. This is Transcape, isn't it? So this is interactivity. Can you see this? So this is actually something that you can add later. But the thing is, you add this later. So you can add a URL or a form, and you can actually put it somewhere in the timeline. So this is actually a Microsoft form that you can actually create. And you can create, because Microsoft Forms, when you create forms, it's actually, let me open up the Microsoft Forms. You can actually create quizzes in there, isn't it? So you can create questions.
Yes.
So here, so for example, I just have this link. So copy this. Okay. So I go to my stream just now. Okay, so interactivity, add form, and just paste the URL. Am I pasting the right one? I don't think this is the link. Oh, this is not the link. This is something else. This is from Padlet. Okay. Go back to this just now. So, okay, share, copy. Let's shorten this faster. Copy. So here, just paste it. And then you can. So this one is, for example, assessment. Okay, and then you can enter a valid address. So why is it not a valid address? So let's copy the full URL and see if this is working. Okay, so here. So now you can actually move the time slider to select. Okay, so I'm going to put this video right at the very end. Okay. Okay, so here. So I'm going to add this to this timeline. So now I have embedded actually an assessment at 44th minute. but this is going to be when they rewatch that video. So that is, I think, how you can actually embed assessment within your stream, and that would actually appear here. So let's go to the. So here, can you see there is an assessment question? Here there is an assessment. So when the students actually watched it again, then they will be able to see the assessment. Okay, so
So means that if the student watch it until the end, the assessment will pop up at the 45 minutes
yes,
at the timeline, and they will need to answer the assessment at that point lah.
Yes.
They cannot click separately without watching the video.
Well, you can actually just skip to it. So they just go to here and then you just click play, and then they will get to the assessment. They can do that, but then you can actually design the assessment that compels them to watch certain parts of the video, isn't it? So unless they watch the video, then they will not be able to answer that correctly. Okay, so the next question, Dr. Wahid.
Yes, Dr. Zahir, thank you. Just my question is regarding the safety and security of all of these tools in education. I mean, in the online, are they safe or secure enough to be integrated or shared through the SPeCTRUM? Thank you.
So far, it's actually quite safe. I have not heard any issues with regards to security in this platforms, but of course, cybersecurity is something that we need to actually think about, isn't it? I think as long as your students are comfortable using it and you think it's reasonably safe, then of course, because there's no how do I put this? So I think this is valid somehow. Okay, there's no money in hijacking an educational website, isn't it? So you don't really get anything. So I think it's safe in that sense. So if we are not a bank that people can held ransom for, so that is how I would justify it. Does that answer your question, Dr. Wahid?
Yes, thank you. But I mean, there is many of the tools. I mean, to be used, but sometimes we find one is good, the other is not suitable. I mean, but the security, I mean, is first question. I mean, just to be considered.
Yes.
To be used in official website like the SPeCTRUM or the platform like SPeCTRUM. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Zahir.
Okay. So to comment on that, actually these platforms are quite popular with students and with lecturers, and they would have invested in security for this. So you only allowed to share when you are the ones that sharing, and you can actually switch off the sharing function when as and when you need. So I think that that would be something that would allow us to sleep at night with regards to using technology and using it for the classes. Of course, the university itself has invested in cybersecurity measures. We have had several attempts at the university level, and so far the university has been quite successful in securing our internet facilities and networking facilities. Okay, so interactive video. So yeah, I'm going to show you one more interactive video applications that we can use. This one is from within SPeCTRUM, so in a way, I think it's much safer or relatively safer, which is H5P or interactive applications. So let's explore that. So again, click and add activity. So here we installed this H5P interactive content plugin into the SPeCTRUM. So this is actually a plugin that we install into the SPeCTRUM itself. And any plugin that we put in SPeCTRUM is actually has been vetted by our PTM team. So that's why you don't see like hundreds of plugins available. They actually go in and they make sure that the plugins are safe before they have it installed. And interactive content is one of that. So interactive content have actually multiple types of interactivity content that you can actually use. And AdPuzzle is actually similar to interactive video that you can use. You can have interactive slides. So this is some, I would say, PowerPoint on steroids. You can actually put in interactivity in between the slides, which is really, really nice. And then you have other 46 types of activities that you can actually use in HPIP or interactive content. So to know what the interaction that's available here can do, you can actually go to details, and it will take you to this page where you can actually click on content demo. Okay, so content demo will actually bring you to a different page now. So H5P is actually created by people in, if I'm not mistaken, in Stanford University, or was it in MIT? So I can't find the thing already. But it's actually created in one of these Ivy League universities. And what it does is it allows for interactivity within your SPeCTRUM page because it's actually a plugin that we install. So in the H5P page, you can see quite a number of different items that you can use. So the most important would be interactive video, but there will be another 46 different types of materials or resources activities that you can actually use in H5P. So let's go with interactive video just now and see how this works. Okay, so I'm going to click on use just now, and then before you use it, of course you will have this tool, but I'm going to show you this example. Okay, so example will take you to the interactive video page. So this is how interactive video comes up. You find it's actually quite similar to AdPuzzle. Okay. So the first thing comes up is the ingredients list. So you can actually click on here, and you can have this. It will show you the ingredients list for this smoothie. So 1 cup milk, blueberries, strawberries. Remember this because later there will be questions. Okay. So here comes the first question. Okay, multiple choice quiz. So what kind of berry is this? So of course we answer as strawberry. So once you are correct, then you can. That was a multiple choice quiz, isn't it? So now here is this different types of quiz. So this is sort of highlighting whatever. So you can actually choose this. So far we've added the strawberries and the blueberries. Check that that's correct. It needs to be taken, or it doesn't have to be taken. So here, so you can use drag and drop, as a quiz, for example. So you just put in that one and that one. That, yeah. Then you can have a serving tip. Okay, so you can actually embed all this in the video, and this is actually based on a YouTube video that you can use. So and you can actually go with the video right to the end, and then you can actually submit the answers. Okay, so to do that in our SPeCTRUM page, again you need to add a video. So let's go to YouTube just now. So let's close all this first. Okay, let's open the YouTube. Okay, let's add okay, so let's have this YouTube video. Okay, for example. So what you do, remember, you need to have the link. Share. Close that off. Okay, so here add a video, and you can actually embed that or paste that YouTube link. You can also upload a video of your own. For example, you actually recorded a stream video or something on the Loom or the screen testify, isn't it? That you want students to watch, and at the same time you want them to interact with that video. So you can upload that video file. So you paste the link, and then you click on insert. So now you've already have the video. So the next step is to add the interaction. So here, automatically you'll be presented with this page where you can actually put in things like label, text, table, link, image, statements, single choice set, multiple choice set, true false question, fill in the blanks, drag and drop. Just now we have the drag and drop, isn't it? Mark the words, drag text, and other things like crossroad and language hotspot. So let's put in. Okay, so this next. Let's close this off. So let's have single choice or multiple choice. Okay. So what we do is we have what it will show you. It will show you a button. So either a button or a poster. So I would normally use just a button, so that it's quite simple. So this one is a question to answer. It will appear in the video just later. So the title would be one, for example, and then the question is where is the question? Okay. And then I'm going to have this answer one, and then answer two. Okay, answer two is correct. To click on the tick to be so that it's correct, and then you have the option answer three, and then another option answer four. Okay, so I'm done. So now so click on done. So automatically you see this multiple choice, can see question to answer. So when the students click on this, then in the view button, in the view function, they will be able to see the question. So when I click save and display, so so it needs the title. Sorry. So the title is okay. So save and display. Okay, so now you see this as an interactive activity, a video that would come with a question right away. So
Malaysia's COVID-19 cases.
Question to answer. So the students need to click this and start to answer. So if they got it correct, then they can continue. So you can actually change the settings for this by having behavior, by customizing how it behaves. So for example, for this one, for the question, okay, for this question, you can actually edit this, okay, and then you can have it the behavior setting, enable retry button. You can have this, you can set this to a pause video set, so that means the students need to answer this when it paused. Okay, so display time, you might want to have this probably a little bit later, for example this, then it will pause the video, and then you can customize the behavior here. So for example, you want to randomize the answer, so it will randomize the options for the students, require answer before the students can review. So the answers are actually, the settings are quite self-explanatory, so that means you can figure it out, you can play around with the settings, and then you can test it before you give it out to the students. Or sometimes what I ask, or my advice to our lecturers is create something that's quite similar, especially if you want to do this for marked assignment. You create something similar to test the features. That means you have like a pre-assessment before you have the proper assessment. So you have a pre-assessment, you play around with the settings, you see how it will behave when it's given to the students, and then you get feedback from the students whether that works, whether this works or not. So that is how you can use what you call this, interactive video in SPeCTRUM itself. So this is actually available in SPeCTRUM itself. So you can actually have multiple questions in different places in interactive activities. And for H5P, apart from interactive video, there are many other types. And you can actually see which one will be useful for your students. So things like branching scenario, which is still actually in beta form, but it create dilemmas and self-paced learning, which is actually something that's good. That means you create branches, and the branches can actually branch more. So the students can explore multiple solutions, for example, to a problem that you presented to them. So, and there are quite a number of activities, things like accordion. So you can actually create vertically stacked items. So to see an example of this is like this. So cranberries are one, cherries are one. So and blackberries are one. And you can actually have this. You can see all of this in how it will actually work for your student. For example, this one. Create image with multiple info hotspots. Okay, so that means the students actually click and they get information. So it's good for.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Today I'm going to show you.
Even you can actually embed a video here. So what else? Video. Okay, and this one is like information. So what about this one? Text and image. So this is a good one. So it shows different countries, isn't it? So it gives the information on the country, which is quite nice. So what else? What kind of activities do we have here? And juxtaposition, interactive images. So what it does? So it shows before and after flooding. So this is something that's good for when you are doing or teaching, for example, town planning, isn't it? So you'll be able to see, so this is how it looks before flooding, and then this is how it looks when it is flooding, after it's flooding. So those who are using on town planning would be good. Something on like SEM microscope, for example. So that is also be good. So what's the reaction? So what's after the reaction? What's before the reaction happening? So under microscope, for example. So this is actually quite a good way of presenting those information to the students, isn't it? And then you can actually explore. So I'm going to have to let you find out for yourself how all this would benefit to your students, because remember, it's actually very contextual, isn't it? Learning for the students. The tools are there to help you to create a learning experience for them. And it is actually driven by the pedagogy. It is driven by the learning that's needed by the students. So I think that is very, very important. That's, I think, a takeaway message that I want to really like, make sure that you get with all this available technology that you have. Of course, I'm an advanced use of learning technology, but I always think about the students first, the pedagogy first. What would be useful for them, and what kind of technology that would actually help the students understand the lesson or the learning outcomes better using technology, because we are teaching or educating the next generation of learners now. They live and they do everything using their smartphones, using their tablets, using their computers. They are very, very good at in processing this information. They are very, very good at I would say processing information. I think that might be not very correct. They are very good at using this information technology. So our task is actually to get them to use information technology, use the Web 2.0 tools for education, to help them to understand their work or their subject, their topic better. I think that is something that we can do as educators using the available Web 2.0 tools that we have, so that then we can actually match their expectation with your own technological ability in terms of trying to get to their level of understanding, or try to get their engagement, so that then they actually learn. So it is very, very good if you can actually create an interaction with them online, where they are quote unquote playing, but at the same time they will actually be able to understand the lesson, understand the knowledge that you wanted them to understand. I think that is something that is very, very important in designing learning for the now we are they are now Gen Alpha, is it? Or probably much lower than Gen Z, for example. So these are this kind of students. They are born with the handphones in their hands, and they started to learn to scroll things way before us. So that's something you need to take into account when designing a learning experience for the new generation of students. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. Of course, I will still take questions. So we have until 12 o'clock. We have about 9 minutes before we're supposed to end. But I will be free to field any question that you have afterwards. So thank you very much, everybody. Okay, so our staff, our officer is saying that we have a feedback form that they are going to share. Or have you shared? Okay, so Umu have already shared just the feedback form in the first chat. Okay, so please fill in the feedback form at the end of the session, and I hope that you can use the Padlet will be useful for you. You can go in and view it. So I'm going to look at the chats here. Dr. Lai, can I have a video recording? Yes, we are going to make this video recording available. What you do is you just click on the link to the, you click on the same link that you are being presented for this, then you'll be able to actually watch the video. So Dr. Ang, last minute meeting is okay. Right. Okay, so yes, of course we are going to have it. We can have the recorded video. Just click on the same link, then you will get the video. Okay, questions?
Dr. Zahir?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm Dr. Sazrid from engineering. I just want to ask about the quiz.
Okay.
Are you going to touch into the quiz after this, or we going to?
Okay, actually, I'm going to give you a resource that you can actually watch on the quiz. Sorry, I did not get the chance to do the quiz, but ADeC have a blog. So in our website, we have this blog that we share quite a lot on assignments and how to do things. So if you go to this blog, I'm going to copy the link and put it in the chat. So you can actually find the quiz module. So here, so quiz types in SPeCTRUM. So this will be the resources that you would need that would help you, I think, how you set up the quiz.
Sorry, I think I'm aware of this blog, and it's quite useful, and I already promoted to my colleague about this blog. For example, when they want to ask about how to do the calculated quiz and so on, how to randomize the question and so on, I already promoted this blog to them, and they are quite satisfied with this blog, and I think ADeC has done a good job. But the second thing, my concern is about the archive. When we have designed our quizzes on SPeCTRUM, and then we want to use the same type or the same that same question for other courses. Okay, for example, I have course A. I use different quizzes, different type of quizzes, and then I want to apply the same thing to course B. So I need to repeat back all of the quizzes or the format.
Or the question.
So we don't have any I think we can put that into archive, but the archive is basically within that course itself.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
It's not
So
under our account.
Yes. I think what you can do is you can actually back up the course. Okay. So if you go to SPeCTRUM, so we go to SPeCTRUM here, and then when you back up the course, so here you
that question bank.
So you just uncheck everything except for the question bank, and then you just jump to. So you uncheck everything.
Okay, except the question bank.
Except the question bank, and then when you try to restore that into the next course. So that
one, that backup will be within the course or within my profile.
It will the backup will come in the server in the server. You can download that. So let me show you an example. So once you've created the backup, what will you see? What you're going to see is actually see something like this one. Let's just do a quick backup of that. Okay, so just jump to final step. So it will record, it will do the backup. Hopefully it will not be too long. So you can either backup everything and then just embed, you restore just the quiz bank, or you can actually, or you do it the other way around. That means you just save the bank and then you restore it in a different course. Okay.
So we can use this backup file
Yes.
for other courses, for example.
Yes, you can use it.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you, Dr. Zahir.
Okay. So yeah, it's stuck at 48%. Okay.
I think since last week, SPeCTRUM is really having some kind of disruption during the whole week. My experience with SPeCTRUM since last week. I don't know why.
So we will have we are going to have it checked by PTM. PTM actually is working on like making sure SPeCTRUM is working almost around the clock. They had just scheduled a downtime, I think, last week or last 2 weeks, just to make sure that clean things up and make sure that things are running. Okay, so never mind about this. Yes, we can use the backup function for that. I have the question typed in by Dr. Wan Sharina. Actually, the video is going to be available for a while. The videos that are available for 3 weeks is actually when it is being used with a different account. So we in UM we have actually 2 types of account in Teams. Okay, one is the A1 account and the other is the A3 account. So check what account do you have, or you need to actually get PTM to check the account type. I can actually check the account type. And those who are on the A1 account is limited to 3 weeks, the storage. But I think I'm not sure whether this have changed or not. I will have to check the Microsoft documentation for that. But those generally happens for those on A1 account, and I think I would say almost all UM lecturers, or probably 70% to 80% are on the A3 account. So those who are on A1 account need to tell us, either tell ADeC or tell PTM to check their account whether they are A3 or A1. So if you're A3, then your video will be able for a long time. So you don't have to worry about that. Another thing that I would suggest that to make sure that the video is available for a long time is schedule the meeting beforehand. So I find that because I normally what I do is I will schedule the meeting in Teams very early. So that means 2 days before I've already scheduled the meeting. So and I have not come across the problem of my videos available only for a short amount of time, 3 weeks, things like that. More questions? Any more questions?
How do we check the video that is uploaded to the Microsoft Stream? Where do we know is archived at now? Because we tried to relocate it, but I couldn't find it.
Okay, so for videos that you've recorded, okay, let me see. So for video that has been recorded, so this is for this is a long time ago. So this is actually in March. So you still have not get the download the attendance yet this time, but later you got. So in the video, you can actually go to this 3 dots icon. Can you see the 3 dot icon at the top? of the video, you click on that, and then you click on open in Microsoft Stream.
Okay. So after opening the stream,
When you open it in Stream, so it will bring you to this page where the video will actually be automatically transcribed. So of course, since we are not native speakers, then you get things that's not clear. But here you can actually change this to change the settings so that then you play. You can actually here. Here more actions, and then update video. Then you can change this settings so that then you can even allow everyone to watch the video.
this one is only available to the person who start the recording, right? So if let's say because what happened before is another lecturer has started the recording. Then after that we want to try to download to save the recording, but we couldn't find it. We don't know where is the video is saved.
The video will be in the stream of that other lecturer. So he or she will need to actually find it, and then go to this part, and then click on download video here. So if you see here at the top here, you have download video, isn't it? You can actually have it downloaded, and then.
So here is the only place we can download now. We cannot find like a archive folder where all the recording will go to that recording folder.
No, because the recording is based on the account or holder. So that means if you, for example, if you have another person co-teaching with you, your friend is recording, then the recording will be in their account, in their stream. So they need to download it for you.
So it won't be like the Google Meet recording, like Google Meet recording, it will go to the meeting recording folder in the Google Drive. So for this one, it will not create the archive folder.
It will create the, so you actually have this these videos in your content. So these are all the recordings of the video.
Sorry, Dr. Zahir, if I may interrupt. I think you can find it in the Sharepoint of the MS Teams. Because every time you create a team, so Microsoft, we created one Sharepoint folder for you for the class. So you can find all the materials in the Sharepoint.
Okay, what Dr. Shazri was saying just now is actually this one. So if you go to files, okay, so here you can actually go to open in SharePoint. So when you click on this one, so this is actually the SharePoint folder for that. Isn't it? So here, so documents, and then so where is the Dr. Shazri? So where is the videos that's saved here? I'm not sure whether I can have it here. Because normally what we the SharePoint is there, but I've never seen the videos within the SharePoint. I always open it in Microsoft Teams.
Sorry to say, I also trying to find. I think last time I watched a tutorial from YouTube, but I tried to. I will give you the link later.
Okay. All right. Yes, Dr. Tan.
Yeah, I also cannot find it in SharePoint.
Okay, yeah, because I know I will always use it in Stream. So this is actually also a good way for you to actually find this. These videos. You can actually have this, and then probably you can try and find it in this one. But this one is also, this one is only the videos that I added here. So I did not have everything is on the videos, and everything here is recorded. there. You can actually download. You can actually allow for like more people to view it. So you can actually share this video outside of the class if you want to. Hopefully that helps. Dr. Tan, we will get back to you, and also Dr. Sadril, could you please later share the resources that you have, so that then we can help other people as well. So as we actually learn new things every day with regards to Teams, with regards to Meet, with regards to Google. With regards to Google Classroom, of course, I think the good thing is that we support each other, and probably some of you will have more information than that they can actually share with the rest of the campus. Hopefully that will help, Dr. Tan. Any more questions? Thank you for those who have joined. Thank you for those who have left. I see that people have to leave for meetings and for classes. So of course, it's given, isn't it, in our industry. So thank you very much. So if there's no more question, thank you very much for staying until 12 o'clock. Thank you very much for the feedback. Thank you for engaging with my talk, and also thank you for trying out all these different tools that we use for the benefit of our students. Hope you have a productive day and week and month and year ahead. Please do try out new things, and please feedback to us new things that you find exciting, that you think everybody should know about, so that then we can spread the word out. So we write in our blog to inform people about different features of SPeCTRUM, different features of Web 2.0 tools, things like Turnitin that you can use for your marking, so then we will be able to actually give the best learning experience online for our students. Okay, so thank you very much. Assalamualaikum, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zahir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zahir.
Bye bye.
Okay, thank you.